Hello and welcome back to my channel TechSage Academy. In our previous episode of this Tkinter series, we have learned how to create a window and how can we place labels on the window. And we have learned a little bit of formatting. Now to place the labels on the window, in our previous episode, we have used a geometry manager which is known as pack. Now, for your information, there are three geometry managers available in Tkinter which are used for the placements of widgets on the window. We have learned that in this episode, we are going to learn Grid Geometry Manager. Now, in this episode, we are going to ensure that the window should look more professional. The labels on the window should be placed aesthetically, and for that purpose, we are going to use the Grid Geometry Manager. So let's start learning how can we use Grid Geometry Manager to place the labels on the window. So let's start. I'm going to open ideally, first of all, I'll create a script file and I'll save this script file as window 2. Now let's write the basic things. First of all, import Tkinter as tk. Root is equal to tk dot tk. Root dot geometry 1080 into 800. Root dot title using grid geometry manager. Root dot configure. Now this time I'll give a professional looking color to my window, background color to my window. BG is equal to dark gray. Root dot main loop. Let's run this module and check the window. So this is the window that we have created this time, and you can see it looks more professional in terms of colors. So dark gray color for my background. Now let me create labels. LBL1 is equal to tk dot label. The container window will be root. Text that will appear on this label will be admission number. Background is equal to, let's again select a more professional looking color, light gray. And foreground is equal to blue. Font is equal to Times New Roman. Size 12 and bold. Relief is equal to solid, and border is equal to 1. I'll also use two more properties. Pad X is equal to 5 and pad Y is equal to 5. So now placement of this label inside the window. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use Grid Geometry Manager to place this label inside the window. Now what is this Grid Manager? Grid Manager places the widgets in the window in the form of rows and columns, where the first row has an index value 0 and first column has an index value 0. So the intersection of row and column will form a cell. So the first cell will be at 0, 0. So I'm going to place my first label in that first cell. Now how can we do that? lbl1.grid row is equal to 0 and column is equal to 0. Let's see what happens when we run this program. As you can see, this label is placed on the top left corner of this window, which is the first cell, that is row is equal to 0 and column is equal to 0. Let me change the width also. Width of this label is equal to 20. So it will increase the label size horizontally. You can see the width of the label has increased. Now let me create more labels and place them. And I'm going to create 9 labels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 labels have been created. This is label 2, label 3, label 4, label 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'll change the text of these labels: admission number, name, roll number, class, section, stream, email ID, mobile number, and address. So these are the 9 labels that we have created. I'll place 3 labels in each row. So in the first row there will be 3 labels. So I'll just copy this and paste it 9 times. LBL 2, LBL 3, LBL 4, LBL 5, LBL 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now in the first row there will be 3 labels. So LBL1 is in the first row, then LBL2 will be in first row and second column, that will be number 1. LBL3 will be in first row, third column, that will be number 3. Now LBL4 will come in the next row. So LBL4 will be row number 1 and column 0. This will be the first label in the row. Then LBL5 will be in first row, second column, that is 1. And LBL6 will be in first row and third column, that is number 2. LBL7, so in second row we have 3 labels. In third row I'm going to place again 3 labels. In row 2, that is row number 3, column 0, row number 2, column 2, row number 2, column 3. Now using the grid function, what we have done, we have placed the labels at specific positions in the window. That means 3 labels in the first row, 1 label in the 0th column, 1 label in the first column, 1 label in the second column. That means there are 3 total columns. Then similarly in the next row, 1, 2, 3, 3 labels. In the next row, 1, 2, 3, there are 3 columns. So let's run this module. Okay, so there seems to be some problem. You can see that this roll number label in the first row is not at its proper position. Let me see what is the problem over here, and this will also explain how the placement can be controlled programmatically. So let's go to this roll number label. This is label number 3, and you can see the mistake here. I have by mistake written 3. So it has left the column number 3 and is placed in column number 4. Let me run it again to show you. This admission number is in row number 0, column number 0. Name is in row number 0, column number 1. So this is row number 0, column number 2, whereas I have written row number 0, column number 3. So this row number is placed here. So let me change it. I'll change it and then run the module again. And now it is properly placed. So you can see here that the labels are looking more aesthetic. They are placed properly. They are aligned properly. Now let's make some more changes to this design. I'm going to give some extra space between these rows. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give spacing between the rows. That means there has to be some gap between the rows in the placement of rows. So let's give the spacing. I'll use root dot row configure method. Now the first value will be the index position, so I'll give 1. After 0th row and before the first row, I want to give some space. So let me select minimum size 70. Now let's run and check the result. As you can see that it has given the spacing between all the rows. Let's increase this size, and the space between each row has increased. Many times you have to do hit and try method to adjust the spacing between the rows, but for our program this seems to be fine. So you can see that these labels are placed aesthetically. There is a proper spacing between the rows of the labels, and it is looking nice and a little bit more professional. Now our objective is to, by the end of this series, you should be able to design a perfectly professional looking graphical user interface application. So gradually we will be learning this Tkinter widgets, more widgets, geometry managers, placement of these widgets, and performing different operations with these widgets. In coming up episodes, we'll be learning more. Please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, give comments as your feedback, and do hit that notification bell icon so that whenever I upload the video, you should get the notification. See you in our next episode.